When God is telling you that something is about to come to pass, He's going to give you an allotted amount of faith for that. He's going to give you the faith to believe that through. And it's going to be, though it hasn't come to pass, it's going to be like something that you know, that you know, that you know. You know it's going to come to pass, and there's humility there. It's not, you don't have to name it, you don't have to claim it. It's just like something you know to be fact, and you had nothing to do, nor do you have nothing to do with its coming to pass. But your job is to sit in that faith. And it's not, sometimes we wrestle in faith, right? We wrestle in faith, we go up and down. What I'm talking about doesn't go up and down. It's like a placement, like God prepares a place of faith for you, and you sit there, and to be honest, you'd have to try really hard to unbelieve what it is. I hope somebody can hear what I'm saying. This is something new, when God's about to bring something to pass in your life, and He's giving you this faith to believe it through. This isn't something that existed before, and it happens kind of suddenly. It's like having something in your bag that you didn't know was there. And again, you have nothing really to do with this. It's really something that's just handed to you, and you didn't bring it to pass, and you can't not bring it to pass. God is telling you that this is what's about to happen, and you just say, okay. Have you ever experienced a knowing like this? It's very much a knowing, but it's not something you planned for. It's God's plan for you, and He's saying, okay, this is what's going to happen next, or this is where you're going next. And all you have to do is agree. For as many things as we say are God's will for our lives, and sometimes we can get it wrong, and there is a real danger in naming and claiming things that just sound good, because sometimes you're naming and claiming things into your life that are not God's will for you. Therefore, you are saying, my will. I'm naming and claiming my will. You cannot name and claim everything that just sounds good in your life. And I'm telling you right now, when God is bringing something new to pass in your life, He's going to tell you, put on your heart what that is, and He's going to give you a portion of faith for that grace, for that thing that maybe you don't deserve, maybe you didn't even ask for. You didn't necessarily work for it. There's nothing you can really do to bring it to pass. He just wants you to believe in it. He's going to give you that allotment of faith, and suddenly you're going to believe there's going to be something new in your plan, in your plot, in your story. And your job is just to believe it through. The cool thing for me personally on my walk is, over the last year or so, and I've experienced what I'm explaining before, but it's only over the last year or so that I've become very conscious of exactly what He's doing in my life. I'm not saying I know beforehand what He's going to do. I'm saying as He's doing it, since I've matured in faith, I now have the understanding of what He's doing as He's doing it. He's brought great things to pass in my life before, but now, like, He's actually birthing something. And like a woman, who has a baby one day, she's not surprised. She's been pregnant for 9 months. She was very much aware, very much endured everything that went along with the pregnancy. It's not a surprise. And God, He's very reasonable. He's not trying to surprise anyone or hide His plan from you. But I believe once we are willing to forsake the many plans that this world wants you to have, that your flesh wants you to have, the many ideas of God's voices that many people have been following, including, you've heard me speak about the numbers. Once we forsake these things, once you settle for nothing but for Him, He's going to do what only He can do, and He's going to put something new within you. And that something new is going to be the next step that He has for you. And it's going to be unmistakable, because He's going to give you the faith to push through with that thing that He's gracing you with. You're going to know exactly what it is. And basically, He's just going to be telling you to sit still. This is what's about to come to pass. You don't have to make your own way forward on this walk. In fact, you really can't. You cannot. And I know that there are so many voices, and I know that sometimes it can just feel like not as fun, or I use the word spectacular, because sometimes, it's so cool to like follow all the patterns of this world, but you've got to see them without the rose tinted glasses. Okay. This walk is spectacular in ways that the world cannot conceive of. And you've got to follow his voice as according to the word. God will lead you. If you're not already being led by other devices, God will speak to you. If you're not already listening to the other voices, know that things are absolutely competing for your attention, competing for your energy. And you've got to really sift through. You know what I've been having a vision of lately is someone really kind of like combing through a really thick, dense forest. The Lord says to seek him and you will find him, which infers not that he is lost, but that he is to be found. And what you'll notice about the pattern of this world is that these things are very easy. It's very easy to YouTube something, to look on TikTok for something. It's very easy to see a number somewhere. We think many things that are actually quite mundane, but they're frequent, they're everywhere. We think these things are so spectacular, and so we give them our attention and our focus. But as I've been speaking over the last few months, if you're willing to forsake what you think, how you think God is talking to you, just to allow him to lead you and to speak to you the way that he has always done, as according to the scriptures, he will. He will put something new inside of you. I am testifying to you now. And that new thing is going to come with details. It's not going to it's not going to be left up to your interpretation. That's what the voices of this world, be discerning. The voices of this world, they're left up for your interpretation, my family. And guess what? Your understanding falls short. When God has a plan for you, he funds the plan. He gives you the details. He tells you what and where. It's basically like he made the reservation and he's just like, show up at this place at 7:00. You know what I mean? That's exactly, I like that. And that's because that's exactly what it feels like. Because I'm in the midst of this, and I've been wanting to share it for several days, but I wasn't quite sure how. And perhaps I'm not doing the best job right now, but I testify to you, and it will come to pass, because I am not special. God does not have favorites. Forsake every voice in this world. Forsake all of these false paths. Some of them, they're masquerading as the narrow path. They're masquerading. They're the broad path with like a narrow mask on them. You've got to live your life by the scriptures. And again, we said something last night. It was like, don't apply the scriptures to your life. Apply your life to the scriptures. And I thought that was so incredible, because, we're not here to have the word conform to our life in this world, but rather it is our life which is conforming to the word. So especially when it comes to being led by God, don't you think that he's still capable of leading you today? When the Israelites were led by the cloud during the day and the fire by night, do you think that was mistakable? Like, do you think that was led for, that was left up for interpretation? You know what I mean? God didn't say, if you see an obscure number somewhere, if you hear a random voice. No, God knows how to get your attention, even in 2024, my family. But you've got to trust him. And I tell you, he's going to put something new in you, like you just put something in your shopping bag. It's very much there, but it wasn't there before. And it's a knowing of something specific that he's going to do next in your life. I'm not going to keep repeating myself, but you want this. And all I'm asking you to do is to trust the scriptures as they are. Don't add your understanding. Leave the worldliness out of it. If it wasn't done in the scriptures, I'm telling you, don't do it now. That's how much you could trust the word. Who is the word? God is the word. Do you trust God? Then trust his voice and trust his leading. Just like a cloud by day, you're going to know exactly where you're being led. without any question, without your interpretation. The most we can do is get in God's way. He doesn't need you to create your purpose and your path here on this earth. He needs you to follow him.